For the Australian zone final. Number 5, of course, is Phil Crump. 14, we've got Billy Sanders. And number 6, slightly with respect to you, is Mick Farrell from Queensland. Mr. John and Phil, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of this new style of presentation to qualify into the world final? Do you think this is the secret of success? Do you think this is the way it's going to be? Come through. John, we might ask your thoughts on this firstly.
Yeah, well, I think it's a breakthrough for Australia on Speedway. It's sort of so far away from the rest of the world in Speedway. This will be the first step. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more steps and one day be a world final here.
And Phil, we might ask you, what do you think of running, say, a meeting like this with these international rules? Do you think that all the riders in Australia should ride under these international rules at every meeting, so that if you do qualify through use of the system?
I think it's a good idea because the riders just get used to riding that way, and you know, the more experience the riders get riding under these regulations, well, the better chance we've got of someone becoming world champion in Australia.
Billy, we just might ask you to come across here if you would. But what do you think of what do you know of the standard of the New Zealand riders that the qualifiers from tonight will go on to meet? Who are some of the names likely to be riding again?
Well, there'll be Ivan Major and Barry Briggs. They're going to be the hardest ones to beat. But it's going to be a hard meeting because any rider on his home track is hard to beat. It doesn't matter who he is. I think it's going to be a very hard meeting over there.
Fine. And what do you think of the standard here tonight?
Well, it's going to be a very hard meeting too. But I think I've got a fair chance because I like this track. I think it's a very good track to have this meeting on because it's very fair track.
Fine, thanks Bill. We might just ask Mick Sanders here from Queensland to come over and join us. So Mick Farrell is carrying number 6. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, there's not really too much to tell. I've been riding in North Queensland, and fortunately last year I was in a North Queensland versus Great Britain meeting, and an English promoter spotted me and asked me to come over and ride for him, and since then I've sort of gone a long way forward.
Good. Thank you very much indeed. I noticed Mitch Shearer's here. Mitch, would you come over? Hi. Mitch, how tall are you?
Oh, about 5'3", 4.
And what's your age?
17.
And where's your home track?
Liverpool, Sydney.
At Liverpool?
Yeah.
And what kind of a season have you had?
Oh, fair, you know, fairly good. Say it was fair for my first year.
What do you think of the company you've got here tonight?
Oh, very tough. You know, really tough. You know, I just have to make the best of it tonight.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
One who really does well. Boulger's right in amongst them. Langfield there got him, and as they go down, we've got number 3, Langfield, in the lead. Mick McEwen running 2. Then it's Ricky Day, and Boulger trying to get underneath him, and Boulger's locked in. And he's locked up there with Mick McEwen from Western Australia. Boulger's into 3, but it's John Langfield. John Langfield out in front. Ricky Day, John Boulger, and then Mick McEwen from New South Wales. What an incredible upset. Boulger's trying everything. He's now getting underneath. Ricky Day in there for second position. They'll give Boulger 2 points. And he's got to win everything else. And Boulger is really working it. But Langfield, what a gate, what a start, and what a rider. John Langfield first over the line. John Boulger second. Third to Ricky Day. Farrell, he drops back to 4th. Gives a tap of the wheel there by Ray Snyder going through in the second heat, first time around. And it's Bill Crump in the lead, number 7. Phil Hearn running second. Then it's Ray Snyder from Adelaide. And Mick Farrell, number 6, tangling and hanging right in there with him. And Crump, he's getting the job done out in front, getting the pole line and hanging onto it beautifully. And Phil Hearn steering very well. There will be one to watch here tonight. He's a magic rider. Ray Snyder still holding off Mick Farrell at the rear. Coming around for the checkered flag, and it's Crumpy all the way. Crumpy sets up the checkered flag once tonight. Phil Hearn second over the line, third Ray Snyder, and fourth there was Mick Farrell, number 6. That was heat 2. To line up now for heat number 3 from the inside, number 10, Dean Davies, number 11, John Titman from New South Wales, number 9, Robin Munson, and number 12 in position 4, Shearer. Out they go. Munson rears. Titman goes very wide. Mitch Shearer's got it, and it's Shearer, 17 years of age. He's in the lead. Dean Davies running 2. So it's John Tidman there in second position. Now they move up. Robin Munson and finally Dean Davies, but it's Mitch Shearer in the lead and showing the way with the white top on in second position too. John Tidman, the two New South Welshman, are out in front. Running third, Robin Munson and Dean Davies at the rear, but have a look at Mitch Shearer. Number 16, Bob Maxfield. The reserve comes in to replace Kim Munson, riding under number 16. And it's Billy Sanders from New South Wales, followed by Bob Maxfield and Paul Scanlon from Rowley Park. Rod Chessel, number 15, is at the rear. The lone Western Australian rider here tonight at Rowley Park Speedway. But Billy Sanders getting the job done and beautifully. Maxfield's following him around and Scanlon still having a battle to hold up Rod Chessel from WA. Sanders with the white top on. Coming around now, the checkered flag is out and it's Billy Sanders all the way. Second to the first reserve, Bob Maxfield. Third over the line, number 17, Paul Scanlon, and fourth to Rod Chessel in heat 4.
We're back to sidecars again now. The popular section. We feature such greats again as Len Bowes and Bruce Kelly, Dean Taylor, etc. And there's some excellent shots in this footage of the work the swingers do. See him right around the right leg of the driver. He goes down again now and grabs. You see the sidecar being wheeled out now. That's the machine of Dean Taylor, who rode with his brother Kevin as swinger for a while, and then Kev got the urge to ride his own bike. And the two members of the Taylor family became a very formidable team. Quite vicious in their riding, very forceful. The sidecars were quite good for the gate. They got a large crowd and they were an amazing spectacle. The work of the swinger, which you'll see quite often through this video, the way that he would help the rider steer the machine. Go back a little bit, says the starter. He wasn't very happy about that either. Now he'll bring them up. Comes up to the line, he'll put his arms to his side. There he is, ready, and away they go. The start of the first sidecar event. Excuse me, I'm coming underneath, says Kevin Taylor, and goes into the lead and gets away from the field. Very, very close riding in the sidecars on most nights, particularly in their handicap event later on, which featured more starters. There you see the passenger leaning right around the rider and hanging onto a handle that was fixed to the front frame, and his weight was thrown right over the inside. They had a fair degree of slope, these bikes, and in the warm-up to an event, slowly running out, it was hard to keep them upright. But once they got the power on, it was beautiful. A very popular facet of the days of Rowley Park. The checkered flag there to the Taylor brothers. For solos, we have Ron Henderson from 1, Mick McKeon from 2, Phil Crump from 3, and Robert Munson from 4. An anxious Crump caught up on the tapes, sent back for a restart. They come in again now, and watch Phil's getaway. They couldn't even get this much getaway on Channel 9. Well away from the field, now Sanders leads from Farrell, and they're followed by Dean Davies. As they go over the line, it's Sanders from Farrell, Ricky Day and Dean Davies trailing the field. But there's the great Phil Crump. Wonderful rider Phil, went to great successes both in Australia and overseas. Now we have Billy Sanders from 1, Dean Davies. They get away very nicely. Dean got a good start, but was soon passed by Sanders. He leads from Farrell, and they're followed by Dean Davies. As they go over the line, we see Sanders in first place from Mick Farrell. He's followed by Ricky Day and Deanie Davies trailing the field. And that was the way they went to the finishing line. Another heat coming up now, and in this heat we have Chessel from position 2. Hearn will start from 3, and John Langfield over on the fence from position 4, re-whiting the start line now. John Titman, the other rider, who'll start from 1. Already now they come in very nicely. Titman goes for an early lead in front of Langfield with Hearn in 3rd place, and Hearn tries to bridge the gap to Titman. He then goes on the inside of Titman, coming around now to sneak through on the inside. He'll then follow Langfield over the line for a 2nd place. No brakes on any speedway machines, and it's only the degree of slide or perhaps a foot planted very heavily into the dirt that will slow them down. John Langfield used to come over from New South Wales with those Boulger leathers and was a great rider. The checkered flag. In this next event you'll see John Boulger riding under number 4, and Ray Schneider from 2, Nick Shearer from 3, and Robbie Maxfield from 4. As you see, Robbie brought in as the reserve. Boulger with the white stripe down his leg, right nearest the camera. Didn't have a lot of fortune with gate. Many successes in his solo career. We go to solos again now, and from the pole is Phil Hearn, Nick Shearer from 2, the reserve rider from 3, and Nick McKeon from the fence. Someone said back off, and he did. Whoever the reserve was, he got the message and took off like a rocket. Watch him now. There he goes from position 3. but he was soon caught by Phil Hearn from Shearer, who moves up into second spot. This was another qualifying event for solos who aspired to go overseas against international teams. Phil Hearn is leading here from Mitch Shearer. That's the way they'll go over the finishing line and get the checkered flag. Very, very skillfully ridden section, the solos. Took a lot of practice. There were naturals like John Boulger, Jack Young, Charlie Monk. You could name perhaps a dozen who were naturals on a solo machine. In this heat we have Ricky Day from the pole, Ron Henderson from 2, Ray Schneider from 3 and John Titman from position 4. This resulted in a great start for John Titman from up on the fence. I wonder if it's a shortcut downhill run that means so much from that outside position on the start. What's the finish now? Does Ricky May make it? I ask you. It was close, wasn't it? You be the judge. This is a solo handicap event now, and unfortunately we don't have the starting list for this, but you can see that there are more than 4 starters, and it was run over 4 laps. Usually 7 starters in the handicap event. Quite spectacular, and it was the last solo event featured on the program each Friday night at Rowley Park Speedway. Cars now, and they featured such greats as Bruce Kelly, Max the Batman Cunningham, Sprazzer Smith, Len Bowes, Len Dyson, and many, many more experts in this 3-wheel part of the competition. One of the few that we can pick out here is that one, Bruce Kelly, and we can always pick Bruce by the upright angle of his dirt guard. Stan Smith, it was just a wee bit clearer. We'd see Stan's leg way up behind his cycle. Had a style all of his own, almost had his nose on the handlebar and really laid into it.